Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the My English Matters podcast. I'm Aisya, and today I want to talk about something that can make a real difference in how you speak and understand English, especially if you're someone who still thinks in your mother tongue first, then translates everything into English. And that is, don't translate. Instead, think in English. Now, I know that may sound difficult. Many of our students come to us and ask us how they can move beyond having to translate sentences in their heads first before saying them out loud. So if this is something that you do, well, you're not alone. And you're not doing anything wrong either. Translating in your head is a normal stage in language learning. But if you want to speak fluently and naturally, you've got to move beyond that stage. So in today's episode, we'll explore why translating can actually hold you back, what fluent speakers do instead, and how to start thinking in English daily with simple, realistic habits. And I'll also share my own experience with this because I used to work as a translator, so I've been on both sides. Let's dive in. So why does translating slow you down? Let's say you want to say, I need to cook, but before the words come out, your brain goes, saya kena masak, for example. Okay, I kena, need, masak, cook. Then finally, you speak. I need to cook. Phew, that's a lot of mental gymnastics just for one sentence. See, the problem with constantly translating is that it slows down your brain. You start second-guessing your grammar, struggling to find the right word, and you may lose your train of thought. And in a real conversation, especially at work or in meetings, you don't have time for that. So what can you do? Well, fluent speakers link ideas directly to the English words without translating from their native language first. So, for example, they don't think, apa saya lapar dalam bahasa Inggris? They just feel hungry and they think, I'm hungry. See, when English becomes the first language that your brain reaches for, you'll sound more natural and you'll respond more quickly. And this isn't just a language trick. It's actually backed by research. So there's this fascinating study by Andrew Cohen, a language expert from the University of Minnesota, who found that learners who intentionally think in their target language, like English, for example, become more fluent over time. They stop relying on translation and start developing what he calls mental habits, the kind that make adopting a language more automatic and natural. Now, I want to share a bit of my own story. So I used to work as a translator. I translated television programs from Bahasa Melayu to English and vice versa. And what I learned very quickly was that if I wanted to write or speak well in either language, I had to get into the mode of that language first. And that meant thinking in the language first. So if I was translating into Bahasa Melayu, for example, I'd read or listen to the source, then pause, and start forming my thoughts in English first before typing anything. If I kept thinking in English, I'd end up writing weird-sounding Malay. And if I needed to translate into English, I'd do the same, switch gears in my brain. It's a bit like switching radio stations. You can't keep both on at once. You have to tune into the one that you want to use. And honestly, that practice of switching modes, thinking in Bahasa Melayu or English before speaking or writing, has helped me so much in becoming more fluent. All right, so now let's get practical. Here are some simple ways you can train your brain to think in English, even if you only have a few minutes a day to practice. Number 1, narrate your actions. One of the easiest ways to practice thinking in English is to simply describe what you're doing as you're doing it. Now let's say you're cooking. You could say things like, all right, I'm chopping the onions. Now where's the garlic? Okay, now I need to heat up the pan. Let's add some oil. Don't worry about having perfect grammar. It's about turning your thoughts into English in real time. Over time, this becomes second nature, and your brain starts to reach for English words automatically. Number 2, label things around you. Another fun and simple way to practice is to name the things in your environment. Just look around your room or workspace and start identifying objects in English. For example, fan, window, curtains, pillow, laptop charger, notebook. You can go a step further by describing what you see or what something looks like. The mug is half full. My desk is messy today. I need to clean this corner. Now, it might feel silly at first, but this helps link your surroundings directly to English without translation. Number 3, plan your day in English. Now, when you're thinking about what you need to do today, try planning it out in your head in English. For example, okay, I need to send that email before lunch. Meeting at 3. I should buy eggs later. Maybe I'll cook something simple tonight. You can even use reminders in your phone or planner in English, just to keep that habit going. Start small. Just use a few phrases. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The point is to build the habit of mentally switching to English when you're organizing your thoughts. Number 4, journal in English. Now, this is a great one if you love writing or need a moment to unwind. You don't need to write an essay, just 3 to 5 sentences a day is enough. For example, you could write, "Today was tiring, but I'm happy I finished my work. I had lunch with my sister. It was raining, but the food was good." So this helps you practice expressing real thoughts in English, not just textbook phrases. Over time, you'll notice it becomes easier to form sentences and reflect naturally in English. And if you're not a writer, you can even record yourself speaking, like a voice note journal. Number 5, react in English. Now this one's fun and super practical. Start reacting to life in English. When something funny, annoying, or surprising happens, try saying your reaction in English. Instead of saying, "Alamak," you can try saying, "Oh no." Instead of saying, "Lawak gila," you can try saying instead, "That's hilarious," or "That cracked me up." Even little things like "oops" or "seriously" help train your brain to connect feelings with English responses. It's about building a new reflex. Number 6, build your vocabulary. Now, if you don't have the words, then you can't think in the language. That's a bit like trying to paint a picture without paint. Now, you don't need to memorize long lists. Just learn words in context. For example, from conversations, songs, articles, or shows. And when you learn a new word, try to say it out loud, use it in a sentence, and then think of a real situation where you might say it. For example, if you learn the word appointment, don't just memorize it. Imagine yourself saying, "I have a dentist appointment at 2, for example. That's how you make the word stick, not just in your memory, but in your actual thinking. So yes, train yourself to think in English, but feed your brain the language it needs to do that confidently. The more vocabulary you have, the easier and faster the thoughts will come. If you want more tips on how to build vocabulary, check out episode 28 of our podcast titled How to Improve Your Vocabulary and episode 154 called Words Matter, Boost Your Confidence with a Richer Vocabulary. So here's the truth. Thinking in English takes practice. You won't be able to switch overnight. You're rewiring your brain, and that takes time. You'll still find yourself translating at times, and that's completely okay. When you notice it happening, just pause and gently try again. Ask yourself, how would I say this if I were thinking in English? Remember, you're not chasing perfection. You're building fluency. And fluency is about ease, flow, and confidence, not about sounding like a native speaker. So be patient with the process. Now, before I wrap up, I want to pause and talk about something really important. Now, you might be wondering, if I train myself to think in English, will I lose my Malay? Am I replacing my mother tongue? Isn't this colonialism? Now look, it's a fair question, I get it. But the truth is, you're not replacing anything. You're expanding. Thinking in English doesn't mean you're deleting Malay or your native language from your brain. It just means you're learning to access English more easily when you need it. It's like having multiple tabs in your internet browser. You're not closing your mother tongue tab. You're just clicking on the English one for a bit, maybe for a meeting or an interview or a conversation with your boss. Then you can switch right back. And bilingual or multilingual brains are amazing. They don't replace one language with another. They manage both. And over time, you actually become more sensitive to the rhythm and structure of each one. When I worked as a translator, I didn't lose my skills in either BM or English. I actually became more attuned to both. I learned to think within each language, not just flip between them. So if you're worried that thinking in English means abandoning Malay or any part of who you are, don't be. You're not betraying anything. You're just growing. So let's recap everything we've talked about today. Number 1, translating is normal, but it's a stepping stone and not the destination. Number 2, fluent speakers think in the target language directly. Number 3, research shows that this habit improves fluency and confidence. Number 4, you can train your brain to do it through tiny daily habits. And number 5, no, you're not losing your native language. You're building a bridge between two. So I hope this episode has helped you rethink the way you approach fluency. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be curious, consistent, and kind to yourself. And if you found this helpful, feel free to share it with a friend who's also learning English. You can also follow us on Instagram at My English Matters or join our email list for more weekly tips and encouragement at myenglishmatters.com. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and as always, believe in your voice.